Social value, as a concept, is widely understood. In simple terms, it's about how local government can create value for society, provide the services that we all need, and support local businesses without adding costs.
It's a big ask. In fact, with the overall council funding gap set to exceed £5 billion by 2020, the challenge is actually to achieve these goals, not just without additional spending, but with less.
The answer lies in the contribution that providers of goods, works, and services can make. Adding social value has to be made a central part of procurement. But how do we build it into contracts? And how do we measure the outcomes? The Public Services Social Value Act of 2012 calls for all public sector commissioning to have regard to economic, social, and environmental well-being in connection with public services contracts.
This social value can take many forms. It can be about opportunities for local people to develop new skills and find jobs. It can mean helping local businesses develop the skills they need to compete and work as a part of the public sector and big business supply chains. It can be about building stronger and deeper relationships with the voluntary sector and social enterprises. It can mean ensuring that the places where people live and work are greener and cleaner. And it can be about new ideas, finding innovative solutions to old problems. Since the Act came into force in 2013, some councils and framework providers have embraced it, and some believe it has the potential to transform the public sector. But much more can be done. The perceived barriers include lack of resources, concerns about additional project costs, how to communicate social value criteria to suppliers, and how to measure outcomes.
How do you assess where you currently stand on social value? How do you define your goals? And how do you get from here to there? In February 2016, the National Social Value Task Force was formed, a collaborative forum to bridge the gap between the public and private sectors and share best practice. In November 2017, the task force, in partnership with the Social Value Portal and the Local Government Association, created the National TOMS framework to provide a national minimum reporting standard for measuring social value. Agnese Mizia is one of its principal architects.
The TOMS framework gives procuring authorities a transparent and defensible way to evaluate tenders and also acts as a simple contract management and measurement tool.
And it's sector agnostic.
Absolutely, it can be applied to any mix of goods, works and services. Contractors of any kind will find measures they will be able to make commitments against.
And those measures are all defined with a comprehensive set of guidance notes. And the toolkit also comes with a spreadsheet, a calculator.
Yes, the calculator is a central part of the toolkit, combining procurement and measurement functions. If we look at the Procurement Calculator, here you can see the 5 themes. Within each of these are a number of outcomes, which are then broken down into 35 clearly defined measures. So let's look at jobs, promoting local skills and employment. There are 4 outcomes within this theme. One being more opportunities for disadvantaged people. There are then 5 measures. This one, NT5, is taking on rehabilitating young offenders between 18 and 24. Each unit, in this case the equivalent of 1 person in full-time employment, is valued at £14,618.77.
That's a very precise number.
Yes, it's the sum of 3 values, the value for the individual, the government and the community, and these are national averages which are based on a range of public sector studies and data. For some measures, this proxy value can be customized to reflect local conditions, and they can also be weighted to reflect local priorities. Bidders simply fill in targets for their chosen measures, and the calculator arrives at a total value, automatically flagging up any risk of double counting. It's robust, it's transparent, and it's really simple to use. Whether you're a procurer or a supplier, it's a really powerful tool.
The design of the TOMS framework was an 18-month collaborative process involving more than 40 organizations from the public, private, and third sector. One of those organizations was Orbis, a shared services partnership between Surrey, East Sussex, and Brighton and Hove councils. They piloted the use of themes, outcomes, and measures in tenders in 2016.
Themes, outcomes and measures is the foundation of our approach to social value. It provided us with a very simple but powerful tool with which to engage our stakeholders, both internal and external, and it really helped us from a procurement perspective, removing the subjectivity from social value, and that's really, really important. And I think more importantly for us as a procurement service, what it does, it gives us the opportunity to ensure that the social value we're actually seeking from our suppliers aligns to what the council and commissioning objectives actually are. And that way we're able to make a real impact in the lives of our residents.
In Birmingham, the City Council introduced its Charter for Social Responsibility in 2012. Moving forward, it now plans to align this drive for social value with the national TOMS framework.
Social value is hugely important because Birmingham City Council spends around about £1 billion on contracts and suppliers. So that's public money, and it's absolutely right that we should be doing everything we can to drive social value out of that public spend. If you take the Charter, we've got 451 signatories, and to date that's generated 111 apprenticeships that just wouldn't have existed otherwise. We look to place a higher social value on companies that we contract with that are prepared to promote in areas of deprivation and disadvantage. And what that actually means is areas that wouldn't usually get those opportunities have got them through the fact that we drive out social value in our contracting.
As well as helping procurers align social value with the specific needs of the local community, the TOMS framework captures many aspects of social value that traditional measures, such as key performance indicators, cannot.
SCAPE is a public sector organisation. We're owned by 6 local authorities and we provide a procurement solution for the public sector for their built environment. The key performance indicators that we have in our frameworks measure local labour, use of SMEs, waste management, the big items, the big well-known social value items. But there are many other things that feed into social value which can't be captured on every contract in that way, and the TOMS do capture that. So it's things like working with voluntary organisations, engaging social enterprises, things that make a big difference to the client but that aren't normally captured in key performance indicators. Introducing TOMS to our frameworks wasn't a difficult thing to do. Once they'd seen the TOMS, they realised that they would be capturing a lot of the good work that they already do, and will be able to provide to clients a report which will show them the value of that additional work on their projects.
The North East Procurement Organisation recently invited tenders for their Regional Electricity Framework Agreement. They've used the TOMS framework to maximise the social value embedded in the contract.
The NEPO Electricity Framework Agreement is one of the largest contracts that NEPO procure, and it supplies electricity to all the local authorities in the North East. NEPO awarded the Electricity Framework Agreement to EDF Energy, and in the procurement process we used the TOMS framework. EDF have responded with a really competitive bid and included a number of social value measures that's going to make a real tangible difference to the North East. For us, the TOMS framework has really improved the way in which we undertake procurement and achieve social value through those procurements. It provides a great deal of structure and allows suppliers to understand the sorts of measures that we want to deliver for the North East region. It also allows us to compare apples with apples in the procurement process, and importantly, provides us with measurable outcomes that we can contract manage throughout the term of the framework.
The TOMS Toolkit helps both local authorities and businesses to measure social value by putting a financial value to sustainable outcomes and impacts. By enabling commissioners to see the economic breakdown of each measure by supplier, they can see which businesses are providing the most value to their local authority and community.
This enables commissioners to make responsible, sustainable, and economically smart decisions to help their public pound go further.
Those local authorities that are using TOMS and fully exploiting the potential of the Social Value Act are reporting very significant benefits, anywhere between 20 and 50% of added value.
Replicating this across the whole of the public sector would bring additional value of over £48 billion.
Extend it further across planning and development, and we would gain another 15 to 25 billion pounds.
In challenging times, these are compelling numbers. The TOMS framework is a major breakthrough in establishing a simple, intelligible methodology and a minimum reporting standard for social value.
With rolling feedback from users, case studies, and regular reviews and updates, it's not just a powerful policymaking and management tool, but a real agent for change.